I'll make an elf wizard. How original. And I'll take component pouch instead of arcane focus. Holy Hey everybody, Skedoodle, your player handbook's a noodle. If you subscribe though, we're gonna look past that, so if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, do so now or your player handbook will become a noodle. Even if it's in digital format, it does not matter. Anyway, how are you doing? Welcome to another DnDMemes. Hope you're having a wonderful day today. Take a second to subscribe to avoid the noodle situation. And if you are already subscribed, consider leaving a like on the video. It helps out a lot and I appreciate it, so thanks so much for that. And with that being said, I hope you enjoy. But first, a quick mention from the sponsor of today's video, Established Titles. Established Titles is a fun and novel way to preserve the natural woodlands of Scotland while helping global reforestation efforts. It's a project based on a historic Scottish custom where landowners are referred to as lairds or lords and ladies in English. Title packs give you dedicated lands that you can see the exact location of with a unique plot number on a private estate in Edelston, Scotland, and an official certificate with a crest. Also, they plant a tree with every order and work with global charities that support global reforestation efforts. One tree planted and trees for the future. You could officially include the title Lord or Lady on your credit card, plane tickets and dating profiles, and it makes a great last minute gift. Now, they told me that the first 200 people purchasing a title pack using my link will effectively be next to my plot within a few minutes of walking. Depending on how many of you want to become a Lord or a Lady, we can build our little SkyDieRay kingdom. They also are running a massive Black Friday sale right now, and if you use code SkyDieRay, you get an additional 10% off. You can go to establishedtitles.com/SkyDieRay to get your gifts now and help support the channel. So thank you so much if you do that, and thanks again to Established Title for sponsoring today's video. I want a realistic game. People struggle to get a full night's rest in a climate-controlled room, sleeping on a big soft mattress. Meanwhile, players. Yeah, my characters can totally get a long rest while sleeping in the bog of eternal mosquitoes and uneven rocky ground. I get all my spell slots back, right? I attempted to set up a moral dilemma, but nope, 15 is apparently old enough to murder. Being ordered to assassinate someone but discovering they have a secret heir with them, and the party just killing the kid too and not even telling the job giver they existed. I mean, that simplifies things for a while, I guess. There's also the possibility that someone else knew about the kid, maybe, and the person that ordered it might find out at some point, and that they might not be happy about what the party did. But that's for the DM in the future to decide, I suppose. Do you punish your players for sleeping in armor? That one guy that insists their character sleeps in full plate just so they aren't naked during the ambush. Combined with the mosquitoes and the rocky uneven ground. Yeah, good luck getting a full night's rest with all of those combined. They just hit level 7 and are using the spell for everything. The mutated cobra lies dead at your feet. If you want to harvest, fabricate! I use fabricate to dissect the body into its useful components. I fabricated snake skull into a cup so I can drink wine from it. Aren't we forgetting a tiny wind, but ever so important little... Okay, it's tiny weenie and it's a typo. Aren't we forgetting a tiny weenie but ever so important little detail? A level 20 wizard is way more powerful than a level 20 fighter. This campaign will not get past level 12. That's how the DM stops that, I guess, yeah, okay. Or not necessarily stops it, I guess, it doesn't have to be what was intended, but it's just a side effect, I guess. Evil DM noises, whatever that sounds like. DM. So you started that sentence with I wish, Bard. Oh no, the ring of 3 wishes starts to glow. Oh no, what was that other word you used in the same sentence? Bard facepalms. Literally. I have waited 15 years for this. Thank you. I really want to know the sentence now. Jesus Christ, how can you do this to me? God damn it. 1 cantrip, incredible power, wizard. I want to cast Prestidigitation on the rusty crown to clean the rust off of it. Me, the DM, who knows the crown is an artifact item unrecognizable as long as it's rusted, that is part of another player's backstory that was going to be revealed much later in the campaign. Inner panic attack. Well, I guess someone's gonna find out that way earlier than, you know, intended. Maybe they don't roll the perception or something well enough. Words hurt. Vicious Mockery is my favorite spell in Dungeons and Dragons because, like, A, it does decent damage, and B, it's a cantrip. So, canonically, a talented musician can murder common folk by hurling a single insult at them. Average damage at 17+ level is 10, max 16. Imagine a chaotic evil bard who becomes a serial killer and the local guards are afraid to pursue him because you might go up and say you're under arrest, but then he just retorts your mom is under arrest and you die on the spot. That same musician, if he can manage to successfully insult the world's most fearsome ancient dragon 55 times without dying first, it dies. A process which would still take only about 11 minutes, assuming the bard has a spell DC of 19, meaning the dragon would fail about 50% of the saves. That's... Jesus Christ. That's funny to think about, I guess. Nightmare Fuel. Evil's DM be like, you gain the downsides of a long rest. Yeah, you gain the downsides of not sleeping in a comfortable bed and ending up turning around for hours and waking up continuously for the whole 8 hours you try to sleep. Great idea for fellow DMs. D&D idea. Let your players make up the magic system as they go along, doing whatever overpowered bull they want, as long as they give a brief in-universe explanation of why they can do that. For example, actually, I'm immune to fire magic because I'm wearing red. Keep track of everything they do. Then, use the magic system they created against them, turning every Deus Ex Machina they ever gave themselves into a Diabolus Ex Machina. For example, you notice that the giant plant monster has a red ribbon tied around its trunk, making it immune to fire magic. Meta. My favorite D&D thing is when someone flubs like a really obvious perception roll or something, and the DM gets to be like, well, you're pretty sure you're in a room, but you could be wrong. It is either really wet or really dry, you're not entirely sure. One time, a guy in our party rolled a natural 20 on a perception check, but there was nothing around he didn't already see. So the DM said, you're not quite sure, but for a few seconds it seems like you're standing on a giant stable, surrounded by 5 giants. Your party seems to look stiff and fake, and large papers and dice are strewn around you. Then everything goes back to normal. And if it knocks them prone, they fall. Tidal wave, not saying it has to be on the ground, and flying creatures. And yes, it's supposed to work like that. Rakshasa with immunity to spells at 5th level or below, and Divine Smite not counting as a spell. Works every time. It's the first turn of combat, what do? The Fighter. I run up to the enemy and attack with my sword. The Wizard. I cast the Magic Missile spell. The Barbarian. And then the Barbarian, yeah, he gets angry. I just wanna say, this was a really creative way of using this template. Dumb. Bad reply. I don't understand this rule. Giving an explanation. It's bad because it may sound condescending, superiority complex is fueled, can be debated, it's boring and pedantic, and it's not practical and only applied to the specific situation. A good reply would be dumb because it's easy to remember, it's gender neutral, it presents facts, it's brief and direct, and it can be used even if you also don't get it. Can I intimate the hostage with strength? I'm hoping it's a typo? Jesus. Intimidation be like, cute halfling bard who wants to be everyone's friend, and a 6 feet muscular Goliath barbarian with a blood-stained axe. Wizards are shisty. DM. The necromancer animates 5 dead bodies with a spell. What do? Cleric. I use turn undead. It doesn't work. These are animated objects, not undead. The cleric surprised. Go on, think about it. It will get worse the more you think about it. The big bad evil guy's plan is to erase all conflict by making all species speak the same language and communicate perfectly with each other. The spell includes every species and makes it impossible to lie. But I spent hours. Rocks fall. DM. The Tarrasque stands before you, throws back its head and unleashes a deafening roar. What do? PC. Can the Tarrasque survive with 15 cubic feet of its body missing? What? No. Cool. Then I shove this bag of holding inside the other bag of holding. Context in the comments. Me, a DM, running out of ideas on how to continue the campaign, and saved by one of my players blowing up his character. Alright, I guess we're gonna have to look for the comments, as this guy puts it. Alright, so I've been running out of ideas on how to continue a campaign that I'm currently running. One of my players inadvertently saved me by blowing up his character. What happened was that the party was surrounded by the big bad evil guy and his soldiers, and there was seemingly no way out, but there was, and it was very obvious. So, in a last-ditch effort to save her friends, one of the characters a Dragonborn warlock, stacked as many buffs and additional rolls as possible, got real close to the big bad evil guy, and performed a retributive strike. So, a retributive strike is an action you can take if you have a magic staff, where you break it and it unleashes all of its magic in a massive explosion of raw magical power and energy, and does a ton of damage. That damage would heavily wound the big bad evil guy and destroy his minions, and the person who does it has a 50% chance of taking even more damage. If she failed that chance, she absolutely would have died, but she didn't. If you win the 50-50 gambit of a retributive strike, instead of taking any damage, you get sent to a random plane of existence. And that's what happened to the warlock. But the party didn't know that. All they knew is that they saw their friend, and in one case his girlfriend, who was bearing his children, blow up in front of them after having said she loved them. They also failed to finish the job on the big bad evil guy, and he escaped. So now I get to milk a trauma storyline from the team and run a separate alternate plane storyline for the warlock trying to return. This is gonna be fun as Thank you for unnecessarily quote-unquote sacrificing yourself, mate. I owe you one. Switched characters last session, and I think I might have power gamed too hard. Marshals are weaker than casters, especially at high levels, and rangers are the weakest class. My ranger doing equal damage to our sorcerer's 6th level spell without using any resources. Make a dexterity saving throw. Okay, it's incomprehensible gibberish, I guess. Pinch? Got me, now it's your turn to hide. I would choose this spell so I could have decent healing while not losing too many known spells on healing. DM, you know about Aura of Vitality. Yes, out of combat it's a good heal spell that could heal 20d6 for its full duration. One downside is it can't be upcast. Divine Soul just used Extend spell. An educational presentation by one of the kids in my D&D after school program. Magic Missile should be a cantrip. It's such a minor choice, but I've never seen anyone take it. I'll make an Elf Wizard. How original. And I'll take Component Pouch instead of Arcane Focus. Holy Restrained? Conversations with the 6-year-old DM. 6-year-old DM, you are restrained. Me. I cast Fireball on myself, sculpting it around me. You are restrained. You can't get the bat poop or move your hands. Are you changing the rules? Yes. Proceeds to tackle me. Try to cast a spell. I mean, he's not wrong about it, I guess. It does only 1 damage. Why the hell is it martial? This is literally just a hollow tube. Yup. One of the first weapons developed by any culture. Seems good to me. Children make and use it all the time. Makes sense. So blowguns should be simple weapons. Blowguns are martial weapons. Yeah, okay. To answer the question why the hell is it martial is because it just doesn't make sense, I suppose. That's the only explanation for it, I guess. DM says it's useless and I say it's not. DM. The crops are contaminated with ergot. You can't harvest them until you clear it. Party Alchemist. I harvest 10 pounds of ergot fungus for quote-unquote research. What in the goddamn fuck? This happened last session and I was downed twice. Nice. I have an AC of 18 at level 2. You can't hit me. Does a natural 20 hit? I have taken the dodge action. Disadvantage. Does a natural 20 hit? QDM. Jesus Christ, dude, what are the odds of that happening? Poor That's a Riddle. She deserves better. Mega Dungeon Campaign. Still a bunch of low-level nobodies. A Sphinx says she will only let the party pass if they give her a book. The only book in hand is my wizard's spellbook. Thankfully, he's a conjuration wizard and the Sphinx isn't very bright. At all. He uses minor conjuration to make a children's book. After they are safe, he tells the party that the quote-unquote magic book will disappear in 1 hour. Weeks pass. They hear sobbing in the dungeon. Turns out, they took a wrong turn and ended up in the Sphinx lair again. Without missing a beat, he reaches into his bag of holding and recreates the book. We found this and came to give it back to you. Be more careful next time. Jesus Christ, dude. Maybe I am a monster. Yeah, maybe. Perhaps. Perhaps that is a possibility. Alright, on that note, that's gonna be it for today's video. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe more if you haven't already. Also, thank you to everyone supporting the channel on Patreon as well as you need to buy pretty lots, so thanks so much for those. Links below if you want to check them out, as well as links to the social media, subreddit, Discord, and anything else. And yeah, that's it. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.